Hello guys and my dear friends, I am Manik and from the channel Literature Study at Home, I from the core of my heart welcome you wholeheartedly. First of all, I am very much happy that our channel is growing really well and this is only because of you and your response. Okay, so till now we are discussing about the paper 1 from the point of view of Nate and Sate and along with the world classics. So for the rapidity of these lectures, considering the NTNet exam, we just flowed down with the lectures of paper 1. Now we also come back to the series of world classic. So in our today's discussion, I select a topic which is really worth noting, and talk about the syllabus which has been categorized in the universities. The topic is a very hot topic. I'm talking about European classical literature, and if you talk about the classical literature and if you talk about the most prominent ancient writings, then I think we need to talk about the epic which is written by Homer. Okay, Homer is a name. I think that name has been recalled, has been talked about a lot throughout the world. And if you talk about the epics, and the name of Homer is of course at the top of that. So in our today's discussion we will talk about Homer's Iliad, and mostly we are going to detail analysis, that is line by line analysis of that Iliad Book 1. Okay, so without further delay, let's go to the slide and enjoy the lecture.
The Iliad, sometimes referred to as the Song of Ilion, or you can say the Song of Ilium, said during the Trojen War, and it was a kind of 10-year siege of the city of Troy by a group of Greek states, and it tells the battles and events during the weeks of a quarrel between Agamemnon and the warrior Achilles. The book has 24 parts, and each part has been named as book 1, 2, 3, and it goes on. But our main concern is book 1 as it is prescribed in our syllabus. Book 1 is titled as Quarrel by the Ships, and the translator did a great job. In each of the books beginning, he provided us with a kind of introductory notes like that of a key phrases. With these we can trace all the incidents which were from the beginning to the end of that book in a orderly manner. Okay, just read out these by yourself. I am not giving it here. I just begin from the first line. Sing, goddess, sing. So he's talking that singing. Actually, the book I have already mentioned in the beginning that it is also called the Song of Iliad. So here it's a kind of a song, it's a dedicatory song. So here Homer at the beginning invoked, as it is very much customary to an epic, he invoked goddess, that means muse. In Greco-Roman mythology there were 9 muses, or you can say 9 goddesses, who represent their qualities like that of arts in dance, music and poetry. And here Homer recalled or invoked one muse, and she is Calliope. And Calliope is called the muse of epic poetry. If you want to get the actual spelling of it, Calliope. Okay, just write down the name. Okay, Calliope is the muse whom Homer invoked in this epic. And I know you have the idea of the invoking muse which Milton invoked in his Paradise Lost. Can you name it? Okay, I'm not giving the answer here because I have already taught you in the class. So if you recall it, if you remember it, just write down on the comment section. Okay, now let's discuss goddess. That means that Calliope. He asked Calliope to sing of what? The rage of Achilles, the anger of Achilles. And Achilles is the son of Peleus and Thetis. Okay, so that man's anger will be discussed in this epic. So this man's anger was a kind of a murderous anger, and that murderous anger condemned Athenians. That means blamed Athenians. Athenians mean the Grecian people, the people inhabiting in Greece. And if you try to trace back the actual introduction of the term, is that one of the four major tribes into which the people of Grecian classical people lived are like that of the first one Achaean, the second one Aeolians, Ionians, and Dorians. So from which the name Achaeans came, and that resulted in countless agonies. That means countless pain, ceaseless pains, and threw many warrior souls deep into Hades, leaving their dead bodies carrion food for dogs and birds, all in fulfillment of the Zeus. So it was resulted due to the anger of that Achilles, and this anger resulted due to the quarreling with two men, that is the king Agamemnon and the warrior Achilles. Agamemnon dishonored Achilles, and he by force have taken the captivated girl of Achilles, and simultaneously he rebuked him. He even did not give any kind of respect to him. So at that moment, when the opposite army, that is the armies of Troy people, they attacked Athenians, and at that moment they require a particular brave warrior, but due to his own prejudice, Achilles detached himself from the year, and with the help of his mother, he even successful persuading Zeus to give all the support to the Troy's people. So Hector was killing very much mercilessly all the Athenians, and all the Athenians were dying one after another, and all the dead bodies were lying on the Athenians' tent, and their dead bodies are now just started decomposing and started emitting foul smells. So all these dying and all these things happen due to one person, and that is of Zeus, because he did it to fulfill one woman's desire, and that was Thetis, because it was Thetis who was Achilles' mother, who wanted to give all kind of support to his son, to his son's anger, did this. So this is the kind of introductory notes to the whole epic, the Iliad. Okay, now the next line. The epic start at the point where Agamemnon, the son of Atreus, the king of men, quarreled with noble Achilles. So this beginning was due to the quarrel between Agamemnon and Achilles. Those two persons are the two extremes. One who is the king, who have the power, and with his power did whatever he wishes. And on the other hand, Achilles, who is a very noble, who is a very skillful warrior, but lack of his power, suffer in every respect. So this will be discovered in the text. Then Homer asked very a tricky question. He said, which of the gods incited these two men to fight? He asked the audience that why did these two men are quarreling with each other? Who was the god who induced those two men to fight? And then Homer himself gave the answer. He said that god was Apollo. So that inducing god was Apollo, and he is the son of Zeus and Leto. I know you have the idea of Zeus. Zeus is the god of all the gods and goddesses, who is also known Jupiter in Roman history. And Leto, you know, Zeus has his wife as Hera, but Zeus has many other relations, and among them one relation was with Leto. Leto was a woman, and she is called the mother of mankind. Okay, and she is also sometimes referred as a woman with modesty. And Leto was pregnant from Zeus, and that information, that news was also known by Hera. So Hera was a kind of a jealousy woman. So she wished, and she decided that she will not give any kind of security, any kind of place, so that Leto can give birth to his sons. So without finding any kind of place, Zeus helped Leto, and Leto gives birth with two sons. One is Apollo and Artemis, in a particular place named Delos, Delos. And you know, Delos is a place which is the inhabitation of Apollo, and where the oracle has been done, and people went there to listen the oracle. And then, angry with Agamemnon, that means that Achilles was very much angry with Agamemnon. But before that, before the quarrel has fall out, the case of angry was done by also Agamemnon with Apollo, god Apollo. And how did he do it? He cast plague down onto the troops. That means Apollo, after getting infuriated from Agamemnon, he now sent the deadly disease plague upon the soldiers, upon the warriors of the Athenians. And that disease was a kind of infectious evil, a kind of infesticide evil. And why did Apollo did such a disastrous thing to the Athenians? What is the actual cause of that anger to Apollo? And that is, for Agamemnon had dishonored the god's priest, because Agamemnon disrespected Apollo's priest, and the name of the priest is Chrysis, who had come to the ships to find his daughter Chrysis. Actually, there is a kind of a background story. When the storyline begins, that means the war situated in the epic discussed, the Athenians have already defeated a particular city named Chryse, which was at the outset of the city of Troy. Actually, the city of Troy is a very much well-equipped city, which has a very high wall, which can't be reached by any other person. So they at first abducted that city, and especially they abducted the wives and the women inhabiting in it. And among the women, one woman was Chrysis, who is the daughter of that Christ, of that priest. So he came to Agamemnon to get back his daughter. So Christ is bringing with him a huge ransom, huge kind of compensation with him to Agamemnon. And in his hand he held up on a golden staff. So he brought two things. The first is a golden staff, and the second is a scarf, and that was of sacred god Apollo. So those two gifts are not very much valuable if you talk about in respect of money, but if you talk about the importance of the gift, this is of very high status, because those are the gifts from god Apollo. And by bringing back those two ransom, those two compensation, those two as a gift, he begged Athenians, all the Athenians, and above all, especially the army's leader, the two sons of Atreus, that mean both Agamemnon and Menelaus. In his hand, he held up on a golden staff and the scarf sacred to, oh, this is the similar line, okay, so I'm not rereading it. He said, Menelaus, Agamemnon, sons of Atreus, all you well-armed Athenians. So Chryses said that, I know, I am very much happy to say that you all are very skillful warriors, and even the gods on Olympus grant you wipe out Priam city, and I am very much happy to say and happy to talk that even the goddess of Olympus are also with you, because you are not doing some kind of unethical thing, because your countries, your king's wife, that means Helen, has been abducted, and you are here to get revenge back. So you are in your ethical side, moral side, so gods are also with you. And then he said, return home safe and sound. And one thing I have left out, that is, he said that with the support of the gods and goddesses, you will be successful in defeating the Troy, and that destroying the city of Priam, and after that you will return home very safely and with happily. That's why the sound, the word used here. Then he asked that in a very cordial manner, please release my dear child to me, and accept this, take this ransom, and by accepting it, honor our dearest god Apollo, that far-shooting son of Zeus. Next. At that particular moment, all the Athenians wrote out their support. So all the Athenians are now very much happy and very much enthusiastic that it is the gift of God. So they are now in a very much auspicious side. It's a kind of a very positive side to them, that it is also gift from God. So they said, respect the priest and take this generous ransom and brought by Chryses. But displeased, Agamemnon dismissed Chryses roughly. But Agamemnon returned Chryses not in a very peaceful manner, but in very roughly. And he said, look what he said, old man, don't let me catch you by our hollow ships. He said that, oh you old man, that means by saying old man, he said you are a very trickery man. You are here to catch, to provoke us. And he said that the present condition of the Athenians are with that they are now in empty ships. That means their motto of defeating the Troys and piling the goods and wealth have not been done yet. So that's why their ships are empty. So he wanted to say that Christ brought the ransoms to remind all the Athenians that they are now empty-handed, and this is a kind of token of gift to please all the Athenians. So that's why Agamemnon became very much infuriated, and he even very rudely said that don't try to come to our ships. He said that sneaking back, that means roaming here and there, today or later on, I want not to see you anymore. Okay, and then he also very ominously and very badly dishonored the god. He says that who cares about Apollo's scarf and stuff? He very derailed, you can say, very defamed the god. He said that these are the mere scarf and staff of Apollo, and by saying that he placed the god in a very normal place. That means God has nothing divine thing. Okay, he even said that I will not release the girl to you, or sorry, no, not before she has grown old with me in Argos. He said that I will not return that girl to you until she has grown like a adult, that means more than adult, and like that of his wife, and she will reach in his prime youth in Argos, and that's how she will develop herself in from away from here in his own country, that means in Greece, working with the loam, working with the with that of cotton mill, and sharing my bed and sharing his bed and nurturing his child. This is his intention actually. And then he very violently refused that, go away, just go away from here if you want to get home safely, don't anger me. So he said that if you tries to stay here and tries to continuously asking me about your daughter, it will be a very very worse kind of situation for you. I will not leave you without unhurt. Okay, so that's why it is a time, just go back, I can't tolerate you. So after that we see that the old man afraid and obeyed his words, that when Agamemnon words, walked up in silence without any protest. He is now returning back, and along the shore, and the description was so much pathetic that Homer described that the shore was tumbling, that means tottering, and crashing surf. By the tumbling and crossing surf, that means the foam, the surf means the foam which was in the tide of the sea. So that foam has been described as tumbling, tottering, crashing surf, that means that in a bulky and surfy and the parched surf upon it. So that's why it's a kind of emotional bond, that means his emotion has been described with the water and foam of the sea in a such a bad manner, how they are in the sea like a very much energetic, and when they reached the shore their power now very much in a lesser term. So that's why now the power of Christ is very much low and he is very much upset. So that's how the explanation suggests. And when Christ is reached some distance off from the Agamemnon Sea, he prayed, that means Christ is prayed to Lord Apollo, and the description is like that, let us fear here child. I have already discussed that Achilles is the son of Leto, and he said that God with the silver bow, protector of Christ, sacred Scylla, might Lord of Tenets, Smithian Apollo, hear my prayer. If I have ever placed you with a holy shrine, or burnt bones for you, bulls and goats, well wrapped in fat, grant me by my prayer. He just alluding the gods with various names and various titles. He asked God that if I have ever did a kind of a perfect worshipping to you, if I have done the actual sacrificial ritual for you, burned and sacrificed the animals properly, then grant me my prayer. That means give me the actual solution in that particular point by bringing my owner back, bringing my daughter back to me. He also at the same time wants to get revenge from the Achaeans Force the Danans. Danans also the similar name. Actually, Danans, the name came from that a particular story. The Agrives, or you can say the Achaeans, which I have already discussed. It's a kind of a nation, and that was founded by a particular man, and the name of that man was Daneus, Daneus, Daneus. Okay, Daneus founded the nation, and when he actually fled from the own city, that is Egypt, and settled in the city of a particular place named Argos, Argos, and he fled there to save his 50 daughters from a forceful marriage to the 50 sons of his brother Egopixa. Okay, so that's why the Danan's name come. So all these are the similar name. Actually, Greece, the people of Greece is named as Achaeans, that Danans, and also Argives. Argives because of that city, that newly developed city named Argos. From Argos, it is taken as Argives. And he said that force the Danans to pay full price for my tears with your arrows. So just shoot your deadly arrows to all the Achaeans, so that they can understand what actual disadvantages and what disaster they fall upon themselves by dishonoring me, that means your priest and you. So Chryses prayed, and with Phoebus Apollo. Why the name Phoebus has been applied here to Apollo? Apollo's mother was Leto, and Leto's mother was Phoebus, and that not Phoebus, actually Leto's grandmother, that means from maternal side, named Phoebe, and that Phoebe means the rays of sun. So that's why the name Phoebus came to Apollo. So Phoebus Apollo hugged him, but we can also define Apollo as the shining Apollo. Okay, so he came down from the Olympus, from his own place, and he came down in complete angerness, and his step of anger is at the very high level. He carrying with himself on his shoulder the bow and covered quiver full with some kind of poisonous poisonous arrows, and his arrows were rattling in anger against his arms. And when he was swooping down, all the arrows are dashing with each other and make a kind of a sound, and which was a kind of a rough sound. So the god swooped down, descending like the night. So he swooped down, or he came down from that long highest place with a sound that it is compared with the coming down of a night, that's like the blinking of our eyes. He sat some distance from the ships, so he placed himself from the distance of the Achaean ships and shoot off an arrow, and at that moment a peculiar kind of sound struck from that bow, and that sound is called reverberating sound, that means echoing sound, and that was a kind of sign of ominous, that means that will bring a kind of a deadly thing. Next, first god, that means Apollo, massacred mules and swift running dogs. Its first target was that of all the enemies. Then loosed sharp arrows, that means then he struck the arrow very roughly, very hardly, and shoot it. And he shoot the arrows upon the troops, upon the soldiers of the Achaeans. And as a result, thick fires, that means the poisonous flame, burned, destroyed all the soldiers, and as a result the dead bodies, that corpses, were started lying on the ground. And for 9 days, Apollo rained death upon the Achaeans, the troops. And on the 10th day, Achilles summoned an assembly. So, seeing this deadly death upon his companion, Achilles called upon an assembly, and that summoning of an assembly is not the actual thought by Achilles. It was induced by a particular goddesses named Hera, and I think you have recalled the incident I have discussed in the class. That in that background of the epic, there was a war, and it is named that Trojen War. And the Trojen War due to a particular battle of Concord regarding with an golden apple, and that golden apple was inscribed with the phrase that for the fairest girl, for the fairest lady. And while choosing each, the 3 goddesses were remained, and among them, first one is that of Hera, second one was that of Athena, and third one, that is Aphrodite. And they were suggested by Zeus that they should reach to a particular prince named Paris, who can tell them who is the fairest. And Paris chose that person, that goddess Aphrodite, who is the goddess of beauty, who gave consent to her that she will give him the most beautiful lady in the world, and that is Helen. Okay, so at that point, those 2 goddesses, both Hera and Athena, were very much offended with Paris, and they determined from that day that they will take revenge from this boy, this Paris, and all the people of Troy. So that's why Hera chose the side of Achaeans or the Greeks in that battle of Trojan War. And at that particular time, Hera brought the thinking upon the mind of Achilles to summon all the remaining warriors of the Achaeans. Because Hera could not keep herself quiet, seeing such death was occurring on the side of the Achaeans. So the men gathered, and the meeting came to order. Swift-footed Achilles rose to speak. So Achilles now at first at the meeting at the beginning of the epic stood and started saying to the Achaeans, and he said that. So at first his speech was addressed to those men, that is the son of Atreus. He said, "I fear we are being beaten back, forced home, if we are not all going to be destroyed right here." So he said that if this deadly disease, that means plague, will go on, then all the soldiers will die at the end. And if we try to stop it, then we need to stop it now, because if it goes on, then more of our soldiers will die, and as a result our soldiers in quantity will decrease, so that we can't also fight with the Troy with meager amount of soldiers. So it is our first motto to stop that plague. So he said, with war and plague of killing of Achaeans, so that means we should need to stop that disease. So he said, "Come now, let's ask some prophet, priest, interpreter of dreams." And he is now in a mood to ask a person who is very much well equipped with the power of prophecy, with a kind of a priest who can see future. And at that point, for dreams to come from Zeus, and that interpreter of dream can do one person who is very much blessed with the blessing of Zeus. and a man who might say why Apollo is so angry, and that man can give us answer why God Apollo is so very much angry with us. And he can also say us he can also give us information about what happened, that means whether he falls our prayers and suffering, that means whether God Apollo is dissatisfied with our prayers, with our sufferings, we sacrificing we do for him, whether somehow we will welcome sacrificial smoke from perfect lambs and goats. He also asked that we should need to do more or less sacrificial deeds for him or not. For that they need a kind of man who can interpret dream. So then rouse himself and release us from this plague, so that they can rouse himself and all the Achaeans from this dead and deadly disease of plague. At that particular moment, Achilles spoke and took his own seat. Then Calchas, he is a prophet. He is the Thestor's son, stood up before them all, and the most astute interpreter of birds. He is the most clever, most perfect interpreter of birds. Even he can translate what birds are saying. He can also communicate with the birds also, and he can even understand actually present, future and past. So he is a perfect man. His skill in prophecy is Apollo's gift. Okay, so this gift of prophecy is not a kind of a mere practice. It came from the god Apollo, and with the help of it they had once get help from it, because when they were in a mood to sail to the city of Troy to get revenge, they were unable to reach the place. Should that man, that prophecy maker Calchas, give them the actual way out? So Calchas addressed the troops, all the soldiers, all the warriors, and thinking of their common good and welfare, he started speaking. At first he said, Achilles, you are the friend of Zeus, that means Zeus's love is with you. You ask me to explain Apollo's anger. You now ask me why Apollo is so angry with us, isn't it? He said, the god who soars from far, that means he is describing the god. And I will speak. He said, I will speak, but first you listen to me. First of all, you need to give consent to him. Swear an oath that you will freely help me in word and deed. He asked Achilles that I will tell you everything, but one thing you have to give me consent, that you will save me whether in words or in deed. That means you need to first secure me, then I will tell you. I think I may provoke someone who wields great power over Achilles, because he said that while saying this, after listening my words, it may provoke, it may arouse anger in a man's personality, in man's mind. So that man is a kind of a great man having great power. That means that man possesses a lot of power. That means that's why Calchas is fearing. Okay, he said, a man who is obeyed by everyone. That means the man is a person whom obeyed all the Achaeans obeyed. And that man, that angry man, that means that king is supposed to be a very angry man, and he overpowers. That means he exerted his power over the lesser men. Even if that day his anger is suppressed, he even gives some kind of a description that even if that man's anger is suppressed one day, resentment lingers in his chest. His own angriness will still lay until one day he acts on it. And Calchas said that man's anger should be formed, should be turned in order, otherwise that man's destruction will come. And at that point he speak, and he said that, Achilles, will you protect me? If you said yes, then I will tell you. And in response of Calchas, swift-footed Achilles said, take courage. That means do not keep in your mind any kind of fear. So take courage. State what your powers tell you. Speak what you have seen in your dream. Tell to us. By Apollo, which whom Zeus loves, to whom you, Calchas, pray in prophecy to the Danaans, I swear. That means speak without any kind of fear. I swear, I am swearing. While I live to take upon the light of day, that means until I am not dying, that means till I am living, no Achaean will raise violent hands against you. That no Achaeans will able to hurt you. Okay, not even if you name Agamemnon. Even if you take the name of Agamemnon, because he claims by far the best Achaean, as your remark has been suggesting us that person, because he is the man who thought himself to be the best Achaean. At that point, being encouraged, the wise prophet declared that Apollo does not fault us for prayers or offerings, but for his priest. Calchas said that Apollo is offended not because of our misrepresentation of our any kind of a prayer or suffering, but Apollo is angry for his priest, that means that man, that crisis, because Agamemnon disgraced him, who did not free his daughter, because Agamemnon did not free his daughter and also did not accept the ransom. And that's why the archer god means that Apollo has brought disaster and will bring still more. And Calchas is saying that if we are not taking the precautions and if we are not able to appease that god, that death will still goes on. We won't remove this wretched plague from the Danaans until we hand back bright-eyed Chrysis, give her to her beloved father. He said that this death will go on until we return back that girl, that bright-eyed girl Chrysis, to her father. And he said, for that we can't accept now any kind of ransom. That means we should return back her now freely, without any kind of ransom. And on the contrary, we have to offer rather a holy sacrifice to god Apollo at the temple of Christ. And if we will carry out all that, we may change Apollo's mind or appease him. And if we are becoming successful with that, we can appease God, Lord Apollo, and at the same time we can free ourselves from this great death. So he spoke and sat back on his seat down. At that particular point, Atreus' son, that wide-ruling mighty Agamemnon, stood up before them. Incensed, spirit filled with huge black rage, eyes blazing power, he rounded fast on Calchas. So by listening all these talking, both from Achilles and from Calchas, he became very much infuriated, and he was very much infuriated to that prophecy maker, especially to that Calchas. And he said that in a very rude manner, that prophet of evil, when have you ever said good things to me? And he started saying that you are a very old prophecy maker. You every time give me a kind of a bad prophecy. That means your prophecy never ever in favor of me. You always did prophecy against me. You love to predict the worst. You never predict, you never prophesize any kind of good things. Always the worst. You never show good news. You never can show us any kind of good news. Now you are saying that in prophecy to the Danaans, you say Archer Apollo brings us pain because I was unwilling to accept fine ransom from Chryses' daughter, Chryses. So now you are saying that because of my refusing to that man's ransom and not returning that girl, that plague, that disaster came upon to us. You are a very rubbish person. You are a very old prophecy maker rather. At that point, he also continues by saying that, but I have a great desire to take her home. Just listen, all the Achaeans, and even to Calchas and even to Achilles, he said, listen. In fact, I want her more than Clytemnestra. That his intention is not to keep that girl to her, with her, not as a mere girl or captive girl. Rather, his intention to make her as a wife of him. Chrysis is just as good in her shape. He started giving description about Chrysis' quality. He said she is very perfect in shape. Her physique is very charming. She is intelligent and she is very much well skilled with every kind of work. So she is very much perfect for my wife. Still, I am prepared to give her back, if that's best. But Agamemnon being the king, he said that if it is for the common people's good, common people's welfare, I will do what you wish. I want the people safe. Being a king, I want all the people to be safe, not to be killed off. But one intention is still hiding in his heart. He said that, but then you will owe me another prize. I will give her, but you need to give me promise. You have to give me a different kind of prize comparison with it. So it is a kind of condition given by Agamemnon. I won't be the only aggrieved left without a gift. He said that why should I myself committed such things? On the contrary, all of you will keep your own gift, and I will sacrifice my gift. It is a kind of unfair thing to me. That would be entirely unfair to me. You can see my spoils are going everywhere. So now you will see and get the actual fun by seeing it, that my spoils, my property from the loot from the defeating country which was given as a gift is it's taken by you, all of you, and giving that Chrysis back as his token of gift as his daughter. So it's a kind of very dishonoring thing for me. At that point, swift-footed Achilles answered the king. At that point, Achilles wanted to pacify Agamemnon. He started saying that, noble son of Atreus, most accused of men. He started giving buttery kind of explanation to Agamemnon. He said, what should be given to that person who poses lot of accusation? That means Agamemnon has a lot of accusation with himself. How can brave Achaeans give you a prize now? He also asked by in a very mockery kind of question, that how can all these common Achaeans who are very less than you can give you a prize? There are none left for us to pass around, and even to us there is nothing extra. The prizes we own in the last battle all are divided to all. So there is nothing to pass around. We have divided up what we allotted. Okay. Then he said, loot from capture or the devastated cities. That I have already discussed. For men to make a common pile again would be most unfair. And he said that it is very unfair to do that, piling the things which you have already with yourself. It's a kind of a common piling. It will be of no meaning. He said, Achilles requested Agamemnon that send the girl back now, as the god demands. It is not a simple kind of thing. It is a demand of God. So you need to return back that girl. It is our request to you. He said that should Zeus ever grant we pillage Troy, he also suggested that if we become successful in defeating Troy, which is the city rich in goods, we will give you 3 or 4 times as much. And after defeating that city, we will give you more than 3 or 4 times the gift you are possessing, more than it. Okay, so we will repay all the sacrifice you are doing now with very much interest also. At that particular moment, mighty Agamemnon said in reply, very cunningly, he said, Achilles, you are a fine man. Achilles, as far as I know that, Agamemnon said, you are a very gentleman, like a god, okay? But don't conceal what's in your heart. So he is pinching Achilles. He said that, I know you are saying something else, but in your deep heart there is a very black kind of intention was there. You will not trick me by your buttery words, by your pleasing words. You can't trick me, okay? Or win me with your words, or you can't win me by your words, or by your trickery of using these words. You intend to keep your prizes for yourself. So you intended to keep your prize yourself. That means the prize which was given by all the Achaeans are now with you, and you are not in a mood to lose your prize, and you are very much energetic. You are very much in a mood of happiness to see my prize to be taken away by all the Achaeans. That's why you tell me to give Chryses back, and seeing it you will enjoy the situation, and that's why you are telling that Chryses should be given back. Let Achaeans give me another prize. Now I am asking you that all the Achaeans should give me another prize, and I don't want that prize. I don't want that prize to be lesser one. I want equal in value. I want equal in value. Okay, something I will enjoy, and that prize I can enjoy. Okay, if not, then I will take a prize myself by force. If you are not giving me that prize with your own willingness, then I will take that prize by my force, something from you, and I will take that prize not from the common people, but from you, all the greatest warriors, that been Achilles and Ajax and Odysseus. So from among of you, I will take the prize, and I will take it by my force. Okay, the man I visit is going to be interested, and I know really well when I take the girl or take the gift, the person might be interested, but I don't care. So that's why he said that. But let's postpone discussion of all this. So now it is better to stop all this kind of discussion. Let's drag a black sea, the sacred sea. Now our most important work is to drag the black sea to us. Okay, and then select a crew, then selecting some warriors, and load oxen for sacrifice, and then load all the animals which are used for the sacrificial ritual, and also load Chryses, that fear complexed gold. And then let's have as leader some wise counselor, and among you choose one who is a very wise counselor to reach that particular place. And for that you can choose Idomeneus, Ajax, and god like Odysseus, and even you can go yourself to that mean you, the Peleus' son, that mean Achilles. And he at the same time mockingly said, "Most eminent of all," addressing Achilles. So with a sacrifice we may appease the god who shoots from far away, and by doing all these things we may become successful in appeasing god Apollo. Listening it, scowling grimly, swift-footed Achilles interposed. And listening it, Achilles became very much angry, and he beating his brows very roughly and said, "You insatiable creature, you that mean Agamemnon, you are an insatiable, that mean an unsatisfied creature, quite shameless, and for that, for your satisfaction, for your gratification, you become very much shameless. How can any Achaean obey you willingly? How can you expect all the Achaeans or any Achaeans follow you in their own accordance? All the Achaeans are forced to work under you. They are not working at their own wish to work for the king, for you. And they are joining a raiding party or fighting with full force against an enemy. No, that's not. They are fighting just for their only duty, not for love for you. Okay, I did not come to battle over here because of Trojans. I am not here to battle against the Trojans. I have no fight with them. Rather, I have no kind of enmity with them. They never stole my bulls or horses, because no Trojans, no any kind of people have tried to rebel with me, or you can say can create a disturbance with me by stealing my bulls or horses, or raised my crops, or destroying my corpses, my grains in fertile Pythia, my own native land, where I believe that there grows heroes like me. Many sandy mountains and the roaring sea stand there between us, and I live in a particular place where many seas, many mountains are there. But you, that means Agamemnon, great shameless man, we came with you. I can't believe myself that we came with you to please you, to win honor from the Trojans for you, that we will be fighting for you and defeating the Trojan for you. You are a dog face, and for Menelaus, and for your brother Menelaus. You don't consider this, don't think at all. You don't think that we are battling for you. You threaten now to confiscate the prize. You are now threatening us to seize our prize, to get our prize by force. I worked so hard for, and for that prize, you don't know how much battle I have done, gift from Achaean son, and after that fight, the Achaeans honored me by giving that prize. When we Achaeans loot some well-built Trojan towns, whenever we went to whenever we went to loot any kind of Trojan towns, my prizes never match the ones you get. The prizes I received was not even equal to you. Just don't think of the pride you have received. And even if I talk about it, the major share of war's fury rests on me. Whenever the position of battle, whenever the actual duty is referred, you did very less. The most part of the battling is rest upon me. But when you hand around the battle spoils, you get much larger profits. But whenever we won any kind of battle, the most beautiful prize has been conferred upon you. Worn out in war, I reach my ships with something fine but small. I I placed myself in a very worse condition and win such a trivial thing, but you place himself in a safer place but win a very great thing. So I am very much determined. I will return home now to Phthia, and it's better to sail back in my carved ships. So he is now in a mood not to stay there because nobody cares about him, because all the people are disrespecting him. I don't fancy staying here unvalued. I don't want to live here without any kind of value. And why should I stay here? For that? For filing riches for you? Treasures just for you, that shameless, that unsatisfied creature? By listening it, Agamemnon, king of men, even started speaking in a rough manner. He said that, fly you off home then. Okay, return back to your house. If that's your heart's desire, if that's your heart's desire, if that is your wish, then return back. I will not beg you to stay on my account. I will not be going to request you please stop here for my account, for my sake. I have rather others around to honor me. Rather, I have other warriors who are far better than you, who will honor me. Especially while wise Zeus himself. I don't care about you, because even the God of all the god and goddesses is with me. That means Zeus is in my sight. Of all the kings, Zeus cherishes, because among all the kings, people eulogize, people call that king, that Zeus. It's you I hate the most. And if you want to know a great truth, is that I hate you the most. You love constant strife. You just a person who loves to do one thing, to strive constantly. And you want two things, war and combat. So what if you are strong? So you are always talking about your strength. But what is the meaning, or what is the actuality of your being strong? That is because that power which you are now boasting yourself, it was given by somebody else, because some god gave you that. So it is my wish to go scurry off home, go away, disappeared from my eyes, and return back to your house. Take ships and friends, whatever you have brought here, just take away from here. Your ships, your friends, go rule your mid-regions. Go and rule, that means nurture, play, and roam around in your particular that village named Myrmidons or Myrmidons. I don't like you or care about your age. I don't even care your anger, even your like or dislike. So just go away from my eyes. But I will make this threat. But at the same time, I am threatening you that I will take your prize. That I will not be going to take or accept the prize from others, that means from Ajax, Odysseus. Rather, I am going to your house to take my prize as a compensation of that prize I am giving in favor of our city's welfare. And I will bring back that fair-checked Briseis to me. I will fetch her in person, and I will do it by force, by sending heralds, by my own person. And you can't do anything. You will rather see just how much I am the better man, and you will see how much powerful I am. And it may be said that how much worse I can be. At the same time, and others will hate to speak. By seeing this incident, I know all the people of Athens will learn how strict I am, and they will feel a kind of hesitation whenever they try to speak to me as peers, as my colleagues in public, claiming full equality with me. Whenever they will try to show any kind of dishonor by placing themselves equal to me, the similar kind of treatment will be given to him, and similar kind of punishment will be given to him. So till that point I am concluding here. Actually this video become very long. I thought it itself making as a lecture, as we are supposed to give in our college, so that's why it is given long, and my intention is to complete the whole epic in text format around 3 or 4 video lecture. So this is the first one, and I will give you some question along with it. So just keep it focused with it and try to solve this question.